Riddly diddly hiddly middly. It's Hotline League episode 68. Oh my gosh, it's been a week. I've missed all of you. Actually, I guess it's been 2 weeks because I went to South by Southwest and I got sick. Whatever. Anyway, we're back. So if you've been going through withdrawals, understand I'm right there with you. And it's Hotline League episode 68. Just a big quick shout out. Their logo's right there. Alienware sponsoring this. Unfortunately, I was missing this show last week on Monday because I was coming back from South by Southwest, where I also did Alienware stuff. So either way, Alienware all over the place. Appreciate their support of the show. Let's get into things without any further ado. Mark Z, how you doing? How's my constant co-host doing tonight?
It's doing good.
It's doing good? Or are you
it's
doing
good? It's who cares? Okay.
Yeah.
We put out another episode of the D&D show that we do for offline TV that just came out today. It's a fun episode. They kill wolves. They jam them into a chimney. It's a lot of shenanigans and it's a lot of fun. So guys should all watch that.
Great. I feel like Hotline League is slowly just turning into a promotional tool for your offline TV D&D show, because I feel like that's all we start the show and end the show by talking about it every week.
Well, we also this week should probably on Wednesday have the next detention video coming out as well.
Oh, good. Okay, so it's not just the D&D thing.
Yeah, that can shell out a lot of different ways.
Okay, great. Glad. Well, I'm happy you're leveraging our massive viewership on the show to get your fledgling D&D show some attention. What was that? Is that you?
That was me. Yeah, I don't care. Let's move on.
Okay,
Let's
that's
get
a little
Nisqy
weird.
involved. That's why everyone's here.
Nisqy, how are you doing?
Good. Had off day. I had an off day yesterday, so yeah, it's been chill.
Did you go to LCS? Because I know Licorice went.
Yeah,
Wait, you didn't see him?
Yeah, I went yesterday.
I thought I saw him.
They both had the signs that were like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got benched. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so I like that you spent your off day by going to LCS. That's so sad.
I was supporting the boys. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not. It's very wholesome, but I just feel like you finally get a Sunday off. You could go out.
Yeah.
The weather was beautiful. You could have gone for a hike.
Nah.
Let's say you didn't have to support the boys. What would you choose to do with your day off?
I was trying to play Sekiro, the game.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I rage quit that one really fast. So.
Isn't that like a rage quitting game? That's the whole point.
I guess. I don't know. I'm too bad at those games.
Have you not played Dark Souls or any of the other games?
No.
Those guys. Oh
No.
my god. That's
Yeah.
why I can't. That's why I can't plug his headset in.
Did you do stuff today, or did you also have scrims?
No, I was off today as well.
Okay, so 2 days up. So what did you do today?
Hey, they gotta buy Travis. They can do whatever
Yeah,
they
we gotta
want.
I know.
buy. That's why.
I know. I'm saying it's good. I
Oh.
was worried because pro players never get a day off. You get 2 in a row. What did you end up doing today?
I went to lunch with Zabutin and Jack, and then I've been chilling and playing solo queue.
With
Yeah.
Zabutin and Jack?
Yeah.
Okay, the optic person. We're just gonna change the subject by looking at this cat.
You guys are supposed to keep talking. It was just supposed to be an extra little.
Yeah.
He's spazzing out right now. He's got,
Jack's in the
got
chat
the zoomies.
saying, "Take it easy there, Travis. I know what you're thinking. You're so lucky, Jack, that there was a cat on screen. Just completely distracted the whole point. Why did you get lunch with Zabutin and Jack? That seems so random."
Why not? I was gonna eat with Zabutin, and then I asked Jack, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm hungry," so
Okay.
just went.
All right. It feels so random to me.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Are you friends with Zab?
Yeah.
Because
I
you're
mean, I
both
know
from
him
Europe,
from
I
France.
guess.
No, I'm friends.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
Europe, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
I don't know, the different parts of Europe.
Yes. Whatever. All right. So, for me, because no one ever asked me, I'm just gonna say, I was sick a lot last week, so that was rough. It was great to be back at the LCS. I thought week 9 was gonna be really hype, and it wasn't that bad. But I think this might be, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like so many games didn't matter this week 9. And usually there are more games that matter. Normally there's bigger tiebreakers. Like even our tiebreaker didn't matter.
Yeah, it was really weird, especially coming after 2 years or two splits in a row where we had like four-way ties coming in. Both last summer and last spring, I think we had to play like 4 or 5 tiebreaker games each time. And then for some reason, the only thing we had to tiebreak was a fourth, fifth place match, which was super boring.
Yeah.
And there was a chance that there was a lot of people going for it, but I think just how Saturday went set up Sunday to not really matter when
Yeah.
it could have been really close.
I mean, I'm glad I didn't miss it, but it was very funny because I had to turn down this really cool opportunity to go to Nashville for this crazy thing. I won't get into it. And I was like, no, I can't miss week 9 of the LCS. That's when all the crazy shit happens. And then it was like people subbing in their academy teams and tiebreakers
Well, to be
for
fair,
matches that don't matter.
the people who subbed in their academy teams did us a service because there's no way I wanted to watch 100 Thieves or Clutch just lose those games normally.
Yeah. Well,
So at least
I
they
guess
lost
that's
them
true.
in
I do
interesting ways.
I like that they gave it some stakes. So, by the way, I'm going to try to avoid coughing in the mic tonight, but if I do, I apologize. Jack is in the chat right now who's saying he wishes there was an LEC playoffs, like that we had the same playoff style as LEC. Maybe somebody can call in later today or tonight if they want to talk about that, because that might be an interesting discussion. What can we talk about though? I think we can talk about the teams that made it and the teams that didn't. I know last week I wanted to pull up Mark's power rankings video from the beginning of the split and kind of review how well he did. I think that'll be kind of fun.
Yeah, sounds fun.
And then I don't know, any other major. I mean, we've had 2 weeks. It feels like there's a lot to talk about. 100 Thieves, just like I feel like we've been holding back. 100 Thieves subreddit hates us.
I don't have anything to say. They suck. You know what's crazier? C9 or TL going on a 3-game loss streak in the playoffs.
I know. Well, we could talk about that too.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
And losing to TSM twice. I don't know. I feel like there's a decent amount. Nisqy, anything interesting that I'm forgetting about from the past 2 weeks?
No, I don't think so.
I got it all.
How good is C9 Academy? That's the question.
Oh, they're good. They're actually quite good, I think.
Do you think they could be a playoff team?
Wait, who's in? I'm not even sure who's in playoffs even.
So it's Echo Fox and Golden Guardians are the 6th and 5th place teams, so they would need to take one of their spots.
Nisqy doesn't care about who's in playoffs until after they play next week, and he's like, "Okay, now I know who I face."
I think if they try hard, they're a really good team. I mean, they beat us in scrims when they're like really tryharding and stuff. Like we usually go even, but
yeah.
I mean, maybe that's because they're our academy team. I'm not sure.
I mean, they seem pretty good. They slammed in their game. It was actually, was it the fastest win of the season, or it had some record?
I think it's like it was the biggest lead at 15. Something.
Yeah,
like
that's what it was.
Yeah, they had a bigger lead than C9 had all year long at the 15-minute mark. So it was like they smashed harder by 15 minutes than C9 main roster had. How does it go against Golden Glue, Nisqy, in the mid lane?
What do you mean?
Oh, you were talking about how they beat you sometimes in scrims.
No, they beat us sometimes.
What's it like in lane against Golden Glue?
Never through mid.
Okay, never through mid.
I wish Grayson was in chat. He's always in chat flaming our guests or whatever. There's no one this time to flame him.
Oh, yeah. I also, Nisqy usually flames Demonte, which I found out about. And Demonte got benched this past weekend. You're laughing hysterically about it. You can't even, like, I feel like that's an interesting thing to talk about. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's funny because after they beat Clutch in like the fastest game or whatever, the biggest goalie at 15, Grayson tweets out, "This is for Demonte," because they benched him for midlet.
Nice. Hey, Azazel in chat says Grayson Yasuo versus Nisqy is the most one-sided matchup in the world. Nisqy, what's it like facing Golden Glue's Yasuo?
I don't think it's only the Yasuo. I think there's a jungle diff those games. So
okay, gotcha.
Just gotta, yeah.
Okay,
right.
So now you're throwing Sven under the bus.
Just pass the buck as they all throw each other under the bus.
Yeah, that's the goal.
All right. Well,
oh shit! I had a follow-up question. I forgot what it was. Oh, it's what I predict Jack's business model is. Remember he was the guy who was originally kind of doing the farm system in Challenger.
yeah, it was him and David Slan.
Yeah,
A man I'm sure Jack loves being compared to.
I didn't make that comparison. You did.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is now he can do the thing where he makes a really good academy team and just sells it off to the 10th place team. So 100 Thieves roster next split is just Cloud9 Academy.
I
And
like
he's
it.
just like a bulk transaction, and he gets a
Bulk
fat
transaction. So
paycheck.
he's not gonna. It's not a la carte.
No, it's not a la carte.
Okay.
You have to buy the whole team. It's a
Gotcha.
discount then if you had to do it a la carte, but now you just,
Yeah. Now you can just do all at once. Nice. Jeez. All right. Whatever. Anyway.
yeah, whatever.
Let's.
All right, you got to get off me, bro.
Goodbye, cat. With the departure of the cat, that signals it's time for us to take calls. Mark, do you want to explain how the show works?
Yeah, so for people who have not seen the show before or are just really bad with memory, the way that this goes is you got to go up and join our Discord. I'm spamming it in Twitch chat right now. Go ahead and type or join there. When you get there, you got to join Pleb Calls or Pleb Calls 2, the voice channels. You can mute your mic once you're in there. And then in the Pleb Topics or Subtopics text channels, you'll go ahead and write whatever it is that you want to talk about. Ideally, it's a take. So you think C9 is going to win playoff since TL's on a slump, whatever it is. Go ahead and post those in there. If we like your topic, we'll pull you into the waiting room voice channel where you'll hang out until it's your turn to come on the show. We'll do a quick mic check, and then you'll be in talking about whatever it was you want to talk about.
Very good. And if you are a sub, first off, thank you for being a sub. We're trying. I missed last week, so I dropped a bunch of subs. So I appreciate everyone who does sub. But that does also give you access to the subtopic chat channel. Moves a little slower in there, and we check it about as often, so it does give you a better chance of getting in, though no guarantees. People who sub exclusively to try to get on the show, I don't know if that's an award-winning strategy. Anyway, there's that, and I feel like that's it for the start of the show. Maybe I'll read some subs while Mark starts to pull people. But
why don't you fill? Okay, why don't you do your get your money, earn your money, and fill for me while I get good topics.
Hey everyone, I love money. Please give me money. I don't know what filling looks like for that.
Talk to Nisqy. Ask him a question. What's his favorite?
Well, I was gonna read subs. Nisqy,
Okay.
what's your favorite beverage?
My favorite what?
Beverage. This is an easy one. You're sponsored.
Oh, Red Bull.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Yeah, we love Red Bull here.
You did it. Okay, good. What is your what's like a? Do you ever have pets growing up?
What? No.
No pets.
Whatever.
Europeans
What are
don't
those
have
questions?
pets. I don't know. Mark
do.
just told me to ask random questions. Anyway,
I'm a
I want to
cat.
read some subs.
Sure.
Exolvark, thank you. Ekyrex, Neil Crocodile, Benjamin for 13 months in a row. Munzelicious, PC Loves Lomo, Soroxon, Hi I'm Hui, Maximo, Rebelcom for 14 months. Lindsay Kinsey, I miss you, Lindsay. Rent a Balloon for 6 months, and the Thelwyn for 15. Blank 27, 1997. Millsap 917. Exolvark. I think that's it. Exogen Chan. Gilly Pete. We ready, Mark?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Okay. Mark is off to the races. Grab us some people. Who's your favorite dog and why is it Cooper? Is that Jack's dog?
Oh. No, it's the C9 dog.
Oh, C9 has a dog?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I didn't know. Shocky 2. We're getting a little bit of echo, so hopefully you can maybe turn down your microphone or something, or your headphones. Shocky 2, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York City, New York.
Oh, well, welcome to the show. I love New York City. I'd love for Elsius to go back there. I'm sad that it hasn't in a while.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed the Madison Square Garden appearance that happened because I was away at school. But should I just jump into my question?
Yeah, go for it. What do you want to talk about?
I just want to talk about, I think Echo Fox has a real good chance against TSM this weekend because they have the players from Clutch Gaming in the past. They have Rush back in form, and overall, they're looking really solid. They beat TL, they beat C9, and I think they went 4-0 these past 2 weeks to make playoffs. I just think they're on a hot streak.
Nisqy, you're already smiling.
Nice that they beat C9 parts.
Do you think it's likely, or is this possible? I mean, what is your immediate reaction?
I think it's possible, but I don't think it will happen.
Okay.
At
How
least.
come? They beat you.
I mean, I wasn't playing that day, so I can't
Okay.
comment on that.
Fair enough.
I mean, I don't think they're a bad team. Like, I think if they played their champions, they're actually quite good. But for example, Rush Jarvan, like
Yeah.
he's not gonna get it anymore, for example. So, not sure.
Okay. Well, that sums up all of it. All right. Sorry. I guess we're done. Nisqy says it's not going to happen. Mark, is there a chance?
I think there's a chance. I just don't think it's very good because the way it feels like Echo Fox has won recently was they would like pick super scaling team comps and then kind of just
Hang out.
play decently well. Well, they wouldn't just hang out. They would make a couple plays and get ahead. And like Rush has stopped dying. Like I think he's had a couple deathless games, or like one death games, whereas before he subbed himself out, he led the league in deaths. So he's been playing a lot more conservative. And then yeah, they've been playing late game stuff. And then they don't make any mistakes and they play pretty clean and then they win. But I think TSM's been one of the best early game teams for a while now. So I think that's not a
So it
great
could be the
matchup.
opposite. They could just get crushed because TSM will just beat them early and then they won't ever come online.
Yeah, that's my concern. But who knows?
Okay.
Nisqy, how good do you think TSM is? Because some people think they're the best team.
I mean, it seems that way. They look really good. I know Cloud9 seems to be their kryptonite, but
I mean, I did an interview, I think, last week, and I said that TSM were better than TL right now, like as a team.
Yeah.
Because I feel like TSM is actually not bad in early game. Like sometimes they just fail closing games out. Like even against lower tier teams, they just been like mid and late game, and I'm not sure. And their champ pool is kind of weird as well, I think. So not sure. I think TL is worse than TSM though. Sure.
Why do you think? Do you think TL became worse or TSM
do we have
caught
a
up?
TL topic,
Or,
Mark, or should we wait for that?
I don't know if we have a TL specific topic. So
Because I feel like we're starting to bounce around between Echo Fox and TSM and then going on to TL.
I can.
Maybe we wait and see if anybody ends up talking about TL later. But I am really curious to see what happens. It feels like, so to our caller's point, Mr. Shocky 2, I think the thing is, for me, I look at Echo Fox and I'm like, yeah, they seem to be looking really good. Like they're closing the gap up to get towards, like the top echelon of these teams. But then TSM looks really good. Like I feel like TSM has just had such a clean second half of the split. And they seem to be cutting through everything like it's like a scythe through butter. Is that a good analogy? Anyway, so I feel like that's going to be the problem is maybe Echo Fox is starting to look really good, but I feel like TSM is starting to look even better.
Yeah, I would say TSM does look good, but the thing is, Broken Blade has mainly played carries top, which like isn't a bad thing technically, but can he match up if he has to play a tank because they need a front line? Can he do it? Because we haven't really seen him on anything. I mean, like he's played Jax against Team Liquid. I think he played Nico against C9, if I'm right, on the last game that was really close. And like the games have been close, but overall, with the game looking towards more of a scaling meta right now and playing the late game more so, because the games are going late despite people saying TSM is a early game team to get those advantages. I think Echo Fox can stall at these games and they'll be able to take them late and on the Jinx, whereas I think we've seen mostly Sven's been on Lucian bot, and it's been a lot of bot laners. And if it gets to late game, I just think they're not going to have the front line like they didn't against C9, because at that end fight, they had basically, like, I think Nisqy was on a Victor, and you just cut through them like butter. And overall, they just looked like, I don't know, they just didn't look like they had it there. And I think the same thing's going to happen. They're just not going to have the ability to have a front line because Broken Blade can't play tanks.
Well, I'll let Nisqy chime in first if he wants to.
I mean, I think Broken Blade not playing tank is kind of false. I mean, I think he plays tanks, but the meta is not really tanks right now. That's why he plays mostly carries, and also I think he's more comfortable on carries too. But I think if they need a tank, he will for sure play like.
And
Or
will they even need a tank, or can he just get away with playing carries, you think?
I mean, he should be able to get away, I think, because he's good in lane on the carries he plays. So also they usually play Sejuani and like tanky
Yeah.
junglers. So
That's what I was gonna say. Is I don't think the meta right now demands tanks top. Like we saw Cho'Gath and Poppy showing up a little bit more, but it's not like those things are like game changing. And so for the most part, you play Sejuani in the jungle, you'll play Skarner or some other like thing that's going to build Cinder Hulk or something. Their support's always Braum, Alistair, TK. So you have 2 front lines there. And then they always play to top side. Like he has the highest jungle proximity of anyone, any top laner. So like they give him carries and they support him. So it all lines up in terms of draft and play style. So I don't think that's suddenly going to become a problem in the playoffs.
I also feel as though, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nisqy or Mark, but it does feel as though every player on TSM in their lane has had a better split than all the... I'm trying to think of like anybody on Echo Fox where I'm like, oh yeah, like that matchup definitely goes in Echo Fox's favor.
Yep, I would agree. I don't know where they have individual advantages.
Yeah, it's basically roll for roll. It feels like TSM outclasses them. So I think that's also going to be a struggle. It's sort of like, well, I don't know where this ends up happening, and I don't have enough faith in Echo Fox to overcome that with like team play. I just feel like it's probably pretty unlikely, Shocky.
Yeah, I guess maybe I'm a little bit high on them than most people because I just look at them and I look at this hot streak recently and the teams they've beat, and maybe I do need to look a little bit more towards the past, but it's hard to get psyched up for these matchups coming into playoffs because we've seen like Golden Guardians Flag Quest how many times? And like
Yes.
TSM is like...
At least they're close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
it is kind of funny. The Golden Guardians Flight Quest, we can talk about that because I don't think it's going to come up again. But it is kind of hilarious how much, like even in the tiebreaker, it's just sort of like an appetizer to the fact that then we're going to have to watch them play a best of 5 later on.
like it's like good for them. Like Golden Guardians made playoffs for like I think this is the first time they've ever made it. And Flag Quest, like Turtle looks good, but like when they go up against Liquid, like it's basically a battle for who gets to go against Liquid and then get knocked out. That's how I feel.
I mean, didn't FlyQuest beat Team Liquid just a week ago?
Yeah, Team Liquid lost to FlyQuest, Echo Fox, and TSM.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I mean, that FlyQuest game, like, you're not going to see TL playing that same comp again. That was just ridiculous. Like, I think they had LeBlanc on Jensen, and I think bot lane they took Rakan. I forget their ADC on Double Lift. Then top they took I can't even remember. But it was just like I remember it being a really bizarre comp.
What is going to be a more interesting matchup, Nisqy and Mark? TSM Echo Fox, or assuming it happens, FlyQuest Team Liquid?
I mean, I think FlyQuest Golden Guardians will be closer, but I'd rather I am personally more interested to see how TSM looks because
I was saying if TL, because we were talking about a world where FlyQuest faces TL FlyQuest, if that happens, or Echo Fox TSM.
Oh, I misunderstood.
TL FlyQuest for me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's really weird. You're comparing a semifinal matchup to a quarterfinal matchup.
Yeah,
that's why I'm like,
but we were talking about both, and so it was just Chalky was like, I don't know if it's going to be that, and I'm like, well, we got the Echo Fox Center teeth. We're moving on. Shocky, any final things you want to say before we move on to the next caller?
Thanks for having me on, Nisqy. Huge fan of C9. Go win. Bye.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, on to the next caller. We'll take a break after the next one, but while we wait for our next caller, Blank27, Gully Pete, Mechalora, who just hit 1 year, congratulations. Cool for Joe, 7 months. Dark King for 14. Nanuko 111, Danny Grimm, Cryptic Carnage, and Jubes. We've got, speaking of Danny Grimm, who just subbed, Danny Grimm is on the show right now. Danny Grimm, thanks for subbing.
wow, what a coincidence! There's no way Travis picked people based off.
You picked the people, Mark.
Yeah, just put it on me. Mark's the guy who picks.
Direct deposit. Not going to talk about it.
Okay, well, thank you. Your contribution is supported. Anyway, Danny, you've been on the show before, and I am trying to remember what your deal is. There's like a special thing about it. Like, do you work at Microsoft?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you helped me before with some stuff. Okay.
What a creep.
Welcome back. I'm trying to remember. Mark, you always say I don't remember people, and then I remember something about them, and then you call me a creep.
You can't do anything right in my eyes. Get over it.
Well, you and my father. All right, let's. Daddy, you're calling from Seattle?
Yeah, around Seattle, Redmond, Washington.
Gotcha. What do you want to talk about on the show tonight?
Right. This is actually has been bothering me for a while. I'm really kind of mad about how the LCS and NA kind of misuse Academy and just in general the way they build new talent. Like, so two main problems for me. One is not actually investing enough in building new talent, and the other one is having veterans stick around forever in Academy.
Sorry,
So
what was the first one?
the first one is not actually investing enough in building new talent.
Okay.
I can be more specific.
No, it's fine. I see what you're saying. So it sounds like you're claiming like, hey, we keep putting all these veterans and people that have LCS experience and all those folks in Academy rather than trying to find fresh new talent that haven't been there and then like building them up so that they can enter the rest of the LCS.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of twofold. So first off, teams don't really kind of make an effort to develop talent even like beyond Academy. So in other leagues, there's like in Europe, for example, you have many leagues. So you have many teams and a lot of opportunities for like up and coming talent too.
Because you're talking about the regional leagues, like the German versus yeah.
And in NA, like there's Academy and then there's the collegiate scene. I'm not sure how well invested the collegiate scene is, at least at this point.
And I feel like we've seen multiple people come from the collegiate scene, so
a few, yeah. But like I would love to see teams like do like amateur tournaments, and maybe investing more in collegiate and just in general. I feel like teams kind of take the easy way out, and whenever they need talent, it's like we have veterans in Academy. We'll keep them there just in case, and then they also just import even into Academy, which is like weird to me. Why would you need Academy to build up talent if you want to import to LCS?
Well, so the Academy teams also function as a backup plan. So I feel like that's maybe what you're seeing whenever you're seeing folks who pit import players into the Academy scene is because they want to make sure that they've got a backup plan if somebody doesn't work out in their lane.
Yeah, but why would you have them sit in Academy? Like, have them play with the main roster. They don't get stage experience in Academy. So I'm not sure what's the point.
Well, you might not have them play if you feel as though you're more likely to win with the other player.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but just the point is you don't have a good system other than Academy to build talent and like use Academy for that purpose. I'm nothing against veterans that can't fight the team, but you're just in the long term you're wasting a bunch of money on imports that you keep in Academy and don't necessarily use, aka Levi, and then
or Piglet up in
well, Piglet is in a main roster now, so
yeah.
Well, to talk about the Levi thing, like he was a bit of a disaster in Academy. You wanted to have them directly import him into the LCS and have him be a disaster there potentially. Like it was an opportunity to see how he would adapt to North America and an English-speaking team and all those different things, and he clearly didn't adapt correctly. So rather than blow up your entire season on a risky move, you use Academy as a testing grounds. How is that a waste?
I don't know. I think there's a bigger thing here to say about imports in general, because like many imports this specific season, this specific split didn't pan out quite the way people thought they would. But I don't know. I just feel like either have some in between league to build talent, or it just feels like teams use veterans, use imports, and then like the only teams that kind of feel like actually make like an effort is TSM and Cloud9. that's how it feels to me from what I'm seeing in the scene. And I don't know how good TSM's academy team is, but I just feel like those two teams actually, although Cloud9 do have Keith, who's been around forever.
And Golden Glue, who's been around since
Oh,
season
yeah,
four.
you're right. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. It feels like this is like a major difference, especially in the Western scene between like LCS and LEC.
So, Mark, what is your take on just like the general idea of there's not enough, we're not using enough native talent, and we're not doing enough to develop native talent through academy?
I think you can say that maybe some people aren't using it correctly, or they're not doing a good job, but I don't really think I'd have to go check the academy rosters really quick, but I don't think there's that many imports in academy.
Well, I think imports was only one part of his thing. It's also
Right, well,
veterans, and there are a lot of veterans in academy.
All right, well, let's take it one step at a time. Are there actually that many imports that are in academy? I don't think there are that many.
Is there a good way to pull up the entire academy?
You would have to just go to the Academy League and look at each. It's actually not that bad. If you Google LCS Academy 2019 wiki, and then you can see all their rosters at once.
I don't think this split has been that way, but last split definitely was, or I think it was. Feels like it was.
Nisqy, while we're looking around, do you have any thoughts on this? I mean, I know you're relatively new to or returned to North America, so I don't know if you have a strong opinion on the academy system here.
I mean,
I just got a day off yesterday because of the academy stuff, so I guess there's that.
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, nah. I mean, I don't think the teams are doing like. Okay, I agree. Some teams don't really take like the best players or like talent that there is in NA. For example, there's a lot of one tricks which are quite good, I think, in solo queue at least. But I think C9 TSM, and I don't remember the third team, but like we're actually trying, I think, to kinda improve the academy team. And also, I feel like the games that are played in academy are actually not that bad. Like I'm actually watching every game from academy, and some of the players are like LCS level already.
you watch every academy game?
Not every, but like the good games.
Okay.
Like whenever C9 TSM plays, or even 100 is not that bad, I think, for example. But yeah, I mean, for example, even in TSM, like their mid and their ball lane is actually quite good, but then you're not gonna swap their ball lane with Sven and Xmithie, for example. So it's only if like a team struggles a lot, then I think you're gonna change players. But if it works, then using academy players is kind of useless, I think.
So, Danny, a couple of thoughts here. One, you do want to have some veterans mixed in. I don't think you want an academy team that is entirely rookies, because if you have a stable, consistent person like Matt, for instance, who is on TL Academy, you know, obviously things didn't work out for him in, over the course of several years in LCS, but he's got a lot of experience. He understands the situation, and he's like a constant. Then you can start to add in variables, new players or whatever, sort of see how they go, and then hopefully the veterans can help out some of the new players. I also do think that the collegiate system is doing a decent job, maybe not as good as Europe's, of bringing up talent and creating good environments. I mean, you've got people like History Teacher and like Special going out there to coach some of these teams, and you've got scholarships and programs and all that stuff of having these players play against each other. And while we haven't seen maybe recently anybody come out of collegiate, there are some like names that have popped up over time. So I think it's doing okay. I think there's a lot of people in chat, by the way, also saying like, why doesn't Riot broadcast it anymore? I don't have the answer for you because Riot hasn't ever really explained why, but I do feel as though if you look at Riot overall on the esports side, there is a lessening of spending, which I believe is probably part of the reason why the Academy broadcast is not getting thrown out there. Jack said earlier in chat that he feels as though it needs to be highlighted more. I agree. I think part of the problem is for team owners that Academy does not reliably produce. It might be like a bit of a chicken and the egg problem. I feel like right now, team owners might be looking at their academy, with the exception of somebody like Jack, and saying, hey, I'm not reliably producing results from these guys. I can't bring them up. I don't want to invest like a ton more into the system whenever ultimately when off season hits, it's just going to be better for me to bring over European talent like Nisqy. On the other hand, and also there's just no value from the broadcasts themselves. So maybe there's a world where like the broadcast comes back and it looks really cool, but until then I think it's like really hard to justify spending a ton of money developing the talent down there and also trying to find the mechanisms by which you develop it until it feels like it's able to bring better returns.
Well, I also think like I don't know. I take issue with a lot of what the call is even about as a whole. Like, there's not that many imports, so just kill that one. And a lot of the veterans, some of them are there potentially for, you know, like you're saying, that kind of coaching. And Jack was saying it helps accelerate rookies because you don't have 5 new guys on a team each learning how to play and like all their mistakes compound. But also a lot of the veterans are people who were young when they were given their first shot and are still young and getting time, like Yusui. So we talked about the C9 Academy guys. Golden Glue and Keith are veterans, but it feels like Golden Glue is like eventually going to end up on an LCS team and get a shot again. Yusui, someone who has been flirting with the pro team for a long period of time, like he's getting a chance potentially. There's some guys like that, and then there's plenty of new guys. Like 100 Thieves Academy is almost entirely new. You know, there's so many like people who hopefully can be developed. And yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. It's been a year and a half of it, but some teams have been using it well. And it's a pretty hard thing to find like exactly what you're supposed to be doing with Academy because it's not about winning necessarily. So I don't know. I think it's not. No one's using it perfectly. Probably no one's using it perfectly, but I don't know. I didn't even hear a real suggestion that this is how it's better to be used.
I think the one thing I would do, I can see how veterans might accelerate an academy team, but like when I think about developing talent, the immediate thing that comes to mind as a comparison is NBA. So there is like a whole system. You have high school, college, then the actual pro league, and then NBA bring in talent from Europe, and also talent that doesn't make it through draft to the NBA usually actually go to Europe to play because they can't stick around in college.
Or the D League, yeah.
Yeah. So like it would help if there was like a buffer. I know that just the sheer amount of talent in NA maybe doesn't justify it, but I'm not quite sure about that. I just feel like there should be kind of a space for just young new talent to have like professional coaching, good guidance, and build them up.
That's what Academy is.
Yeah, I just feel like that's Academy.
Yeah, because there's not that many like good coaches floating around either. Like, where are these like good coaches that are supposed to be leading this young player league?
I mean, yeah. Yes, but also when I look at Cloud9, who have consistently been able to bring up very quality rookies, it just makes me think it's not like Cloud9 has like a secret formula that nobody else can ever reproduce, and like they're the only one to ever be able to do it right. It's just,
I mean, they might be the only there might be a world where they might just have a really great development system, right? Like West Rice works on the coaching side. Maybe he's just really great at developing talent in the same way that St. Fish's has been known to be able to do that. And perhaps the system in which they have the players all live together makes that work well. And I don't know. I mean, Nisqy, I don't know if you want to hop in here, but is there some secret sauce to the Academy side? Because why is it that Cloud9's able to do this and other orgs aren't?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I think maybe the difference is that we actually live with the academy team, but like we see them every day, basically. But I think 100 Thieves is like that as well. So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think teams are doing bad, as I said, with academy teams.
Either way, Danny, I think we have to move on to the next call, but is there anything that you want to say at the end here?
No, I might be wrong. It's just kind of been bothering me, and I was happy to get on the
No,
call.
I appreciate these types of calls because I think that it's really important for people to be second guessing a lot of the parts of the system right now and bringing that stuff up. And perhaps there is a discussion to be had about it, because certainly right now North America isn't doing the best job of, developing its native talent. Maybe it needs to be doing a better job of that in Academy. Maybe we need to find other ways to develop it. I don't know, but I do appreciate the call.
I was happy to raise the subject.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. While Mark grabs the next person, actually, I'm going to take a quick pause, Mark.
Why, Travis?
Nisqy, feel free to grab a drink or something, maybe a Red Bull.
Sure.
Because
Maybe a
while
Red Bull,
you
yeah.
do something with your sponsor, I'm going to do something with our sponsor. Alienware is here on this show. You can see their logo. That's also what's powering this broadcast. I'm looking at a monitor right now. It's Alienware branded. Alienware make fantastic stuff. Their Area 51M. I have my own Area 51M on the way. You might have seen it on the LCS podcast. They've been running some commercials for it. I believe it's the most powerful notebook. That's my quote, not Alienware's. But that's what I believe people have been saying about it recently, is because it's got desktop components in it, desktop processor, and it's actually upgradable in a way that notebooks generally are not, including the graphics card, all that. They're going to be doing some stuff, hopefully with me and Mark in St. Louis, which I need to talk to Mark about. Is that your address? Are you doxing yourself? Mark? Mark? You okay over there? All right. Anyway, good job. Anyway, hopefully Mark and I are going to be able to do some stuff in St. Louis because of Alienware helping us. I need to talk to Mark about that. But if you are going to St. Louis, working on some secret stuff with them, hopefully we'll be able to talk about it more soon. Hopefully Mark is not doing an episode of The Dive in St. Louis at the same time as potentially I would want to be doing a live episode of Hotline League. Need to get that sorted because I just realized that he's now part of that show as well as this show. Mark, we need to talk. Either way, the whole point is, thank you so much to Alienware. If you want to help me out, you can go check out Dell.com/Travis. That's TRAVIS. And there's a link in Twitch chat I just dropped in there. It's also in the YouTube description. If you're listening to the podcast, of which there's an audio version of the show, go just open up your phone browser right now, Dell.com/Travis. Check out their stuff. It helps me out. And Nisqy's in the chat promoting cloud9.gg/store. Great. Anyway, that's the ad. Thank you so much to Alienware for their support. On to the next call. Hotline Dive, do it. I've heard a rumor, or it's not even a rumor. I have a vibe that the Dive producers don't like me. So I doubt that we will ever get a Hotline League Dive crossover, although that would be really fun. I can say that because Mark's not in the channel, so he doesn't have to express whether or not it's true. Either way, let's see. Where are we? M-Hub, thank you for the 5 months. Amtrak Trev, thank you for the 7. Captain Crouton, thank you for the 7. Flurry, thank you for the 8. Jubes, Dak Jamkin, Ari Waddle, Eldaril, Craig Yorger, and we got Jaden. Is it okay? I remember you corrected me last time, and it got really awkward. Is it Favis?
Favis. Come on, man.
Fuck, man.
Let's get the hang of it.
It's been weeks. Favis, Jaden Favis. Welcome back to the show. Remind me again where you're from.
I am from Camarillo, California.
Camarillo, California. And I think I bungled. It's in. Okay, I remember it's in Southern California.
Yeah.
Okay, you seem so disappointed in me whenever you join the show. It's so disappointing to me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just expecting more from you, Travis. What can I say?
So many are. What do you want to talk about on the show tonight?
Well, look, I just want to talk about why I don't even know if TL is going to make it to finals because they've just been playing so shitty recently. They went 0-3 in the last 2 weeks. They lost to TSM, Fox, and FlyQuest, all teams that they can potentially see in semis. And if you can't even beat Fox and you're going to struggle against Clutch like they did, I don't know how you're going to expect to beat TSM or FlyQuest even.
Okay, Nisqy, you didn't do much talking in the last call because it wasn't your topic, so I'm throwing this to you. What's your take on all this?
Is TL gonna make finals? Whoa. I think it would depend on who wins and like who they get to pick, mostly.
Well, they'll get to pick between Echo Fox, TSM, FlyQuest, and Golden Guardians. They're not going to pick TSM, and we don't
Yeah.
think Echo Fox is going to make it through. So do you think that there's a chance they could lose to FlyQuest or Golden Guardians in a best of 5?
I think they might lose to FlyQuest in the best of 5. Yeah, but I
Wow.
don't think they, since they're not gonna pick TSM, and I think GGS would probably lose against Fly. So I think it depends on how Viper and Pobelter would play, because Pobelter has been smurfing lately. So I think if Pop can smurf and Viper can hold his own, I think they have a good chance. But it would mostly depend on the champions they play, I think.
That would mean like a
What percent would you put it at FlyQuest beating TL? Is it 50-50 or is it?
Uh, nah, I'm not sure.
70-30.
Thing is, I'm not sure how FlyQuest will do in best of 5s, because, for example, I think Viper is gonna be his first best of 5.
Mhm.
Maybe JJ as well, I'm not sure. And I think it's probably gonna be like 60-40 for TL, but I do believe that FlyQuest can still win it, in my opinion, if they play good. Because I don't think TL is that strong right now, at least.
What would you have put the odds at mid-season? Like if
Oh,
the
no.
season split down, it was like 90-10 TL.
Yeah, probably.
Damn.
Or like even 100-0, I think. I mean, I don't know if TL are bad right now because they're already locked in first and they were just like kind of inting, but they've been looking really bad lately.
You don't believe that they're trying out new stuff, Nisqy?
I don't think so, but I mean, maybe they're out, you know. But I think they're just bad.
Okay, so what's going on? Why did they get bad? People were talking that they might go undefeated, and then maybe they were only going to drop the one game to TSM. Like, what's happened?
I think other teams are just getting better. I think that's one of them for sure. And I don't know. I feel like they've been playing the same style and just the same champions over and over again. Like they're not trying new stuff, in my opinion.
Hmm.
And I think teams are kinda getting how TL plays, and yeah, I just think that they lack. Well, how do you call it? I'm not sure how you call it, but like trying new stuff. I don't know how you call it.
They're not innovative. They just do whatever.
Yeah, kinda. Like for example, if you watch us, we're playing like picking Morgana and then like Talia and stuff, but like TL is only like LeBlanc, Syndra, Orianna, and that's it. You know. So yeah, I'm not sure.
How much of you guys playing creative things is the players saying, I want to do this thing? Or is it the coaches saying, like, you should come up with a new pick? What do you like?
I mean, usually you either Reaper sees something OP and then he's like telling us to try, or we go to Reaper and we tell him that we want to play this champion. And then sometimes it's troll, sometimes it works out, and then if it works out in scrims, then you can just play it on stage. But usually it's the players telling what champions they want to play.
Was you wanted to play Morgana mid? You were like, sign me up.
No. That doesn't
Okay,
work.
that one doesn't sound like a mid laner being like, yeah, put me on board to this game.
Actually, I was like, hey Nisqy, you know, it's not a shame if you have to play Morgana, right? I'm like, yeah.
Is it like a flex? It's like a flex pick, and you're just like, you sure we can put it bot lane? Are you sure it's better mid this game?
Yeah,
So-
man.
Do you think you would beat TL right now? Because in the past, they've seemed to have your number.
I do believe we should be able to beat TL. Not easily, but I mean, in scrims at least we've been playing really good. But also they're kind of inting in scrims. But I think if we play them again, we'll win for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're inting in scrims.
I mean, not inting, but like they're not as good as they are
Right,
on
yeah.
scrims.
It's just
Maybe
it's so
they-
weird that
yeah.
they've just sort of fallen off here at the very end.
Maybe they've been getting lazy. I mean, they've been winning so much.
Yeah, well, you would hope that, like after the loss to FlyQuest, that they would have not been as lazy coming into this week.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You know?
I mean,
I don't know what they're doing. So
I definitely can see what Nisqy's talking about though, in terms of like what are they creative with? Like they just randomly picked unbuffed Urgot. Like it's about to get buffed next week. why do you need to test that pick? That's not experimenting. That's not like learning. That's like, yeah, I don't know. That just seems lazy.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see what Nisqy's saying, where they haven't been creative or pushing themselves to try new champs or something. I don't know.
I mean, being first kind of sucks, I think, for that. Because you get kind of lazy, I think, at least. Like, if I was first and I would smash everyone, I would get so lazy. But maybe that's only my opinion. But I feel like that's kind of what's happening to them. But I think they're going to try harder this week for sure. I mean, they've been losing every game.
Chat really wants to say Impact is bad, or they want you to say it, Nisqy.
I think Impact is really, really good, to be honest. I don't think people see what angles he has in games, or like Impact has saved so many games for TL. Like Impact and Core GG are just the two that are just saving them games.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you shut
Impact is
down
not
the
bad.
Impact is bad thing.
Yeah, Impact is not bad at all.
Yeah. Jaden, what is the scenario in which you think TL won't make it to the finals?
I think TL 100% won't make it to finals if they go against TSM or honestly Echo
Well,
Fox.
they get to pick. So
Yeah.
they don't have to pick TSM. I feel like it's unlikely they would pick TSM.
I think they're still going to lose to the Echo Fox.
Well, they can also not pick Echo Fox.
Okay, I think the only scenario where they make it is if they go against GGS, but I think FlyQuest will beat GGS, so I think TSM, Fox, and Fly all can beat them in the best of 5 because
Okay.
those are literally the last 3 teams that they lost to. I mean, let's be real here.
That would make them the 5th best team in North America, right?
Honestly, right now, the way they're playing, if they keep playing the way they're playing, they might as well be. I mean, look at Xmithie, dude. Dude's been choking. Double F just getting flat out played. I don't know what's going on here, boys.
Yeah. Mark, is this
I'm not
true?
ready to go that far. No.
Yeah, I wanted to throw it to you and see if that's...
I think they've been struggling. I could see them losing because it feels like people were kind of saying like the rocks paper scissors thing of TL02 versus TSM, TSM02 versus yeah. Like I don't think that that's exactly true, but I think they would have a really hard time versus the other top 2 teams, other top 3 teams, whatever. But I think they should still beat FlyQuest. I think over the course of a series, it's like so much grindier and longer that like I think TL will be fine, but I think I would put that matchup probably 70-30 for TL in my mind, and because they're in first place and they get to pick whoever comes out of quarterfinals, like they won't have to pick TSM. So I think they'll still probably make finals, but I'm definitely not confident in TL at all versus TSM or C9 right now.
You give them a 30% chance of not making finals. It sounds like.
Yeah. Because I'm assuming FlyQuest wins and they don't pick.
I mean, honestly, I feel like C9 just has a mental block in their brain where they can't beat TL for some reason, and hopefully that goes away this time. But like, they're literally, they haven't been able to beat them like all split long. They couldn't beat them last summer. It just seems like something broke in their brain.
Is there something broken in your brain, Nisqy?
Nisqy, what's wrong with your brain, dude?
Yeah, but the team as general, they just can't win against TL. So I think if C9 goes to finals, TL wins. But I think if they...
This guy says you're going to lose to the 5th best team in North America.
Nah.
It's more of a matchup thing.
I mean, I agree. I mean, the first game we played on stage, or like the first day that we played TL, this split was weird because it was my first game. But the second game for sure could have played more aggro. But actually the TL loss made us realize how passive we're playing, even though we're ahead at points, and like how we're not punishing mistakes. But then after the TL loss, we started to smash teams. I think like more, like we were like fighting them more and stuff. Like even for
myself, the same
myself.
thing that happened last summer, and then you guys got smashed. And
I mean, I was not there last.
Yeah,
Nisqy will never take ownership of any time he wasn't on the team.
I mean, I'm not Jensen, so
because Jensen loses. Jensen can't beat TSM, where I think you can. So you got that on.
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, we will be TL2. Don't worry.
Yeah, there we go. All right, thank you, Jaden, for the call. I will Favis. Yes.
Yeah, Jaden Favis. You can say it. Fine.
Okay, I will try to remember correctly next time. Have a good. Anything you want to say on the way out?
I just wanted to thank you guys for unbanning me last time. It's been really nice being able to, have some freedom in chat. And yeah, thanks.
We'll just keep up the good behavior.
Yeah,
You're
I will
on
continue
parole.
to do so.
I'll catch you later. Bye.
See ya.
All right. On to the next caller. A couple more shout outs. Freak Peach, Ship Nate, ABH4006, Butt Holtz, Kelsey Ramish. Thank you, Kelsey, for the 6 months. Shout out to Kelsey. If she's still in the chat, she's probably left. Omega Diamond Zinc just hit 1 year. And Pluto7443, Bodies by Bert. And Will D1 Thrill sent $5 and said just for being yourself. Thanks. People don't normally send cash anymore. It's very appreciated. Mark is coming back, and we've got Thadman on the show. Thadman, where are you calling from?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay, whereabouts in Arizona?
It's called Mesa. It's close to Phoenix.
Oh, cool. What's the weather like out there? Is it nice right now?
It's about getting up to the 80s, 82.
Okay, so it's starting to get hot.
Yeah.
All right, good luck. Mark?
Huh? We're talking about weather on this show?
Listen, the main goal of Hotline League is to bait people into becoming more worldly people. We learn about the weather in different regions. We learn about different cultures. People call in from all over the place. Mark, right? You gotta let people be people. Badman, what do you want to talk about on the show tonight?
I was going to say that TSM is definitely going to make the semis 100%, but C9's kind of tend to take them like 100%.
Wait, sorry. Did you say TSM's going to make semis 100%?
Yes,
Okay.
But C9's going to take them easy.
Okay. So why do you say that? And also, I love it whenever somebody calls in there just like, oh yeah, it just so happens that there's a C9 guest here. Let me talk about how sick C9 is.
Wait, we had some other callers, Echo Fox caller and stuff.
No, I know. But nobody ever calls in and is like, I want to call in to say C9's dog shit. They're going to lose. And here's all the reasons why.
I'm reading the topics, everybody. You know what Travis wants to talk about.
Thadman, why is C9 going to beat TSM?
All right, well, let's just start this first off. I am not a C9 fan, but I actually am a TSM fan. But I think that right now...
You wanted to go on the show.
But I think that right now C9 just kind of wins in like everything but mid.
What?
Wait.
You said they wouldn't flame people, and he's just saying Bjergsen's
All right.
gonna
Thadman,
beat up
come back
Nisqy.
in. I appreciate it. Okay. Sorry, what they don't win mid? What was that, Thadman?
I think honestly it's pretty even mid, and everywhere else on the map it's kind of getting destroyed. So.
Okay. What do you think is holding them back in the mid lane from destroying as much as the other positions?
Bjergsen. What else?
Okay. All right. So you think? Sorry. So taking a step back, you think C9 is just going to outclass on an individual perspective TSM, and that every role will win, and then they'll go even in the mid lane?
Yes. I think that Licorice has a higher more champ pool, I would say. You can play tanks and carries. You just see recently, I've only seen Broken Blade on only carries, so I think that makes a big difference. Especially in a 5-game, format there. I mean, one's a 1-game format, sure, but not a 5.
Well, I mean, Nisqy, why don't you start us off? Agree or disagree?
Man, how can I make this not the... I mean, I kind of disagree, because I think even though, for example, Bjerg, like, I agree he's, like, really good in lane and stuff, I feel like if I match against him, usually I help other lanes kind of win their lanes, Like, I roam more around the map. I don't really care about CS, usually.
So you're saying you disagree because even though you might not win the lane, you still win the lane?
Win the game, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's your major point of disagreement with this take, is it's not about the mid... It's not like you think that TSM is a bigger threat. It's all you.
I think the only scary part right now about TSM is Bjergsen anyways. So I feel like if I don't play in his, how do I say, like, game, like trying to win lane, or like just trying to... It's like if you imagine playing against G2, like Caps is probably like their best player, right? like imagine trying to win against Caps rather than just kind of giving up lane and then just snowballing the whole map, you know. But yeah, I mean maybe it might change with the way the meta is going right now, but I don't think I'm scared or like I will lose lane to Björk or anything like that. I just think that the way TSM has been playing is Björk's and just kind of smurfing. Yeah.
If TSM were gonna beat you guys, how would that happen? How do you lose to TSM? Or is it 0%?
I don't think it's 0% because I think it would mostly depend on the. I won't say the draft, but like I think the team that gets an advantage in early game should win, and I feel like their early game is not the cleanest right now. But like the way they win, as I said, I think Björk's just styling somehow, or like playing a cheesy pick or something like that. But I think we're that scared of that, so I feel like going against TSM, we have a really good chance, in my opinion.
So, Mark, do you agree with this? Is C9 way ahead of TSM? They're going to beat them if that matchup ends up happening?
I think so, but I don't know how not close it is. I feel like C9 is probably the split favorites now after TL has kind of slumped and C9's been looking really good. I think the TSM rally they're 11-1 in their last 12 games, which is really good. I think that their play style is pretty good, and they also like have good drafts to set that up. So like, yes, everyone says Broken Blade only plays carries, but they're still usually getting pretty reasonable drafts around that. So like, even if he is on a carry, it's like a carry that can still frontline, like a Vladimir or something, and can like actually dive back lines and create zoning and stuff like that. So I don't think it's this like he plays Jace and that's it. Like non-team fighting champions, like even if he's playing carries, they're still like relatively reasonable team fighting ones. So I think the fact that TSM drafts still make a lot of sense is not a concern for like a top centric playstyle or anything like that. I still think C9's teamwork is better as a whole, though. Kind of like what Nisqy was saying about, yeah, maybe he doesn't smash lane and Bjergsen smurfing or whatever, but they also move around the map super well and set each other up. And I also think they are more creative. I think C9 for the past couple splits has always been the team to try new shit out and make things look good. And so in a best of 5 series, having that like wrench is going to be a big deal if it's forcing bans out of people and stuff like that. So, I mean, I expect everyone's going to be playing Kale. Maybe they have a specific Kale counter or something because Licorice has been trying that. Like, I think they have those kinds of advantages.
Well, it feels like everyone agrees. I don't know. I feel like TSM's supposed to be.
You think TSM's the favorite against C9?
No, not given the past. It's the TSM like hype narrative around how well they've done in the second half of the split is really good. And it feels as though that matchup should be at least really exciting.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
I mean, have you heard about
you guys already said stuff. What about you want me to fake and say that I feel like TSM is going to win?
No.
Well, okay, if we look back at this whole win streak that everybody's hyped about, I mean, you got to think, like, who is that one loss against C9? So they're 0-2 against C9. So they might be 2-0 against TL, but they're 0-2 against C9.
Yeah, you're right.
That
You're right.
This doesn't work.
Yep. I mean, we're all in agreement here. C9 has TSM's number. Badman, anything you want to say on the way out?
I think that's it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Have a good one. Easy call.
I don't want to say it, but that TSM game versus C9 that they lost was very close, similar to how TL's victory over C9 was very close.
Wait, why'd you wait till the caller left to say this? It's like, wouldn't you want to say it in front of Nisqy? You're like, oh, I don't want to say this.
I didn't want to drag the call. I didn't want to drag the call on.
Okay. All right. Well, go get another caller then.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to the next topic. We should have Mark get in them back in just a second. Raging Pianist. Thank you for the 9 months. Atari Legend. Calendar Guy 523. Arid Prius. Connor H314. Rippin' Pepperoni. Smoke Dog. Welcome. Thanks for the 11 months. Mandalorian 5584, Damadox, Berserker, and Schleppard. It says TSM, 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 the Bauer, Killing You Guy, and Laziness. We'll have our next caller here in just a second. How you doing, Nisqy?
Great. It's nice
said
to be
that-
here.
Zazel and Demonte are not in the chat flaming you. I feel like they should have had their revenge against you for how
Yeah,
you treated them when
they're
they were on the
scared.
show. Yeah, maybe. Diana is on the show. Diana, where are you calling from?
I'm actually also calling from Seattle, and you can call me DJ.
Okay, DJ. This was not the voice that I was expecting.
Nope, no, you weren't.
Okay, did you know that your handle was Diana?
Yes,
Were
yes,
you-
I do.
Were you, because you even had ribbons.
Travis, I feel like
next to your name. For the people that don't know, because they don't see Discord, there was a ribbon, like a bow.
Ribbon, Diana, ribbon.
You did everything you could to make it seem as though you were a woman.
I know
calling
my
that show.
audience. I know that Mark Zimmerman is the one picking out people right now. So I
What
put a
does that
hot
mean?
take in chat. I put a hot
DJ,
take in chat.
Were
and
you
then,
calling from Seattle, you said?
Mhm.
All right, what's your hot take?
It was before I found out that the last guy was kind of talking a lot of garbage about Team Liquid. So I do think that Xmithie is doing a real disappointing job, especially in the last few games. I wanted to. That's what I put in. Was a.
Sorry, so you want to join in on the TL trash talk train?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay. So you think TL's problem is Xmithie?
I would think I would put my hot take as he's the worst player right now.
All right. You want to elaborate at all?
Well, so I pulled up the statistics of the last few games. Obviously, the standout is against Echo Fox with a 161 Rek'Sai. I mean, just really disappointing. Or got in the top lane, which is really weird. Chat was talking about how Impact's bad and stuff. And I mean, he absolutely fed the Aatrox in the early game. Solo ended up going 5-0 against the Jarvan in the jungle. I mean, Mark, you tell me, does Jarvan really beat Rek'Sai in the jungle? Because I've always thought that Rek'Sai has way more.
Jarvan should not beat Rek'Sai in the jungle.
Nah, see, I didn't think so either. So I think. You look at the rest of that team: Jensen, Double Lift, Core JJ, Impact. I think that Xmithie might be the worst one, if not Impact. But Xmithie's definitely showing a lot of bad stuff right now.
Nisqy, I asked you earlier if it was Impact that was holding TL back, and you said no, it's not Impact. Now we've got a man asserting Xmithie is who's holding back TL.
I mean, I think we also forget that in TL wins, Xmithie was kind of smurfing as well. So
Yeah, but they
I don't
haven't
think
won
it's-
anything for a week and a half.
Yeah, but I don't think he's the reason.
Okay.
It's like maybe he's like, I mean, as a jungler, looks really bad when you lose usually because it kind of do shit in the game, you know. And as a laner, you can just farm and just save your KDA. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's playing great right now, but I also don't think that he's the reason of why they're losing at all.
Rek'Sai standing was pretty bad, but you're saying that's just like the side effect of being a jungler.
I mean, scrims are different from stage, but I mean, I saw a lot of junglers just going 1-10 in scrims, or like,
Okay.
just dying a lot. Because as a jungler, if you die, it's kind of your team's fault, I think. But yeah,
Yeah. Peter did an interview with FastV where he said every time you die, you have to get more aggressive so that by the time you get the 10 deaths, you get the 10 deaths power spike. Maybe that's... And when I was watching Xmithie that game, I was like, oh, he's been taking lessons from Peter recently on how to play.
yeah.
Mark,
Well, so I agree with Nisqy's point that like the roles that always look the shittiest when a team is starting to struggle is almost always like jungle and support. Outside of like a player just literally getting smashed in lane, like the jungle and the support are often the initiators and the playmakers. So when people look bad, that Rek'Sai game where he went 1-6 or 0-6, whatever it was, that was not like a man, my team and I are not on the same page. Like Xmithie looked like he was individually making a lot of like
You just
brain
got
dead
caught out a
play.
million times, right?
Yeah.
Like you just get caught alone in the top lane and
Right,
and
and it wasn't like flanking. Like sometimes people are like, oh, he went in and now he's caught out of position or dead, or like he was flanking and got caught out. It was like he was farming bot wave near the river when the enemy team just got a Baron and they like got out there and killed him or something. So who knows exactly if it was the team call or not, but those are not the exact same ones as like say when Sven Skaren was on C9 and they were struggling, or when he was on TSM and they were struggling. Like there's plenty of times where an aggressive jungler looks bad or like has bad stats, but like eyeball wise, it's like, well, you can kind of see what was supposed to happen. That one game, I think, was just on Xmithie mostly. But outside that game, like I think it's a little hard to put a lot of or most of TL's downturn on him. It feels like the whole team problem.
yeah. I mean, I feel like looking at those TL games, and you know, as I always say, I'm not an analyst, but it feels like there's just no plan. There's no coordination. Like they don't know what's going on. I just feel like it's more of a team issue rather than like an Impact or a Xmithie problem.
I'm not a Team Liquid fan, but I really do hope they turn themselves around. I am a C9 fan. Nisqy, what's up?
Nice. What's up, bro?
But I really hope Team Liquid turns themselves around, because more than anything, as much as I like C9, as much as I like Team Liquid, I like Double Lift a lot. I just really hope that TSM doesn't make top 3, because their entire team is trash.
Their entire team is trash?
Entire team.
Okay, so do you feel as though Bjergsen is trash? I
think Bjergsen is a watching chat. I think Bjergsen is a really good player, but
Okay.
that's it. He carries a lot. You look at that roster; it's a lot of solid players.
Okay, so then the entire team isn't trash. It's just 4 players that are trash.
I just hate TSM so much, man. I have so much bad history with them.
Okay, what
Bad
did they do to
history.
you? Yeah, you say history.
Do you
ordered a
remember
shirt,
the
it
one
didn't
season?
show up.
Do you remember the one season or like 2 seasons they did the fantasy kind of football, like fantasy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, that was a disappointing season for TSM. They didn't do awful, but I put a
So
lot
they
of eggs into
failed
that
you,
basket.
and now you're bitter.
They did that, and then the pick'ems for the last Worlds. I was like, TSM will do all right, and then they didn't do all right. They
So
didn't even
you
make it.
were a TSM fan.
I consisted on them even getting into Worlds, and I was like, well, and I kind of looked into them more. I was ready to put my eggs into those baskets. They couldn't even get into Worlds.
Okay.
Was Bjergsen not on that team?
So you were a TSM fan up until the end of 2018.
I don't like to use the word fan.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Nisqy, I meant to ask this question as a follow-up before about Bjergsen and yourself and maybe some other mid laners. We have to vote on the like all team stuff. Who would you vote for if you had to vote for all team mid laners, like first, second, third?
I mean, I kind of put myself in there, so
Yeah, let's say you can't put yourself in there, even though you probably would be.
I think I'd put Björk first for sure, because even though Jensen might be better in lane, but like that's even a maybe. Doesn't happen when he plays against Björk, but I just like Bjergsen as a player, like his side laning or like his wave management or just how he plays around the map is quite good and doesn't take any risks at all, which is really good, I think, compared to Jensen where he makes stupid mistakes sometimes.
Jack wants to know if you put Pobe in there.
Oh yeah, actually I forgot. I mean I think 1 is Bjergsen for sure, and then 2 is either Jensen or Pop. Yeah.
What about Crown?
Nah.
No Crown?
Crown is good, but he's not top 2.
Okay.
But and I think I'd put Pop second right now and Jensen third, in my opinion, because Pop has been smurfing lately. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
Leaves TL, and then is in Nisqy's top 3. For
I mean, he's been looking
mid-laners.
great.
Yeah.
And he's also really good, I think, as a player at least.
Yeah. Hey, DJ or Diane or whatever your fucking name is. What is anything you want to say on the way out?
On the way out, I want to say that 100 Thieves has been absolute garbage this season. However, I'm an actual huge Afro Moo fan, just Afro Moo. I'm a support main. He's been a lot of inspiration for me. So if that entire team just like gets disbanded, I really hope Afro Moo moves to like a really prominent team like C9 or Team Liquid or Echo Fox or something.
Nisqy disagrees with your C9 take, but thank you, DJ, for the call.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good one. All right, only 2 more calls to go. We might have to fill. We've been going through some quick calls, so we might have to fill for a little bit. Let's see. We got Shiny Froakie, Hojay, and Jadarko for the subs. Thank you, everyone, for continuing to sub. Very much appreciated. Wait, Nisqy, what did you do today? I think we talked about this at the beginning. I forgot.
Yeah, I went to eat today.
Okay, where'd you go?
Carving board.
Oh yeah, carving board is
That
so good,
place
and I
is
know
so good.
C9 loves carving board. I love
Yeah,
carving
that
board
place
too.
is so good.
You guys go there all the time. Strive is here. Strive, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Fort Myers, Florida. 3rd time on the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say I recognize your name, and then you said Fort Myers, and I remembered. What do you want to talk about in the show tonight?
Putting Fort Myers on the map.
You
I
are
am
with
calling-
coming into the show. I appreciate that you think the show has enough emphasis to put
Put
or
it on
enough
the map,
pull.
dude.
Yeah.
It's a great show. I am calling because Zix is going to win Coach of the Split.
Zix is gonna win Coach of the Split. Okay. Reaper looks like Nisqy just looks like he bit into a lemon whenever you said that. Why is Zix gonna win Coach of the Split?
Zix is going to win Coach of the Split because TSM looked a little shaky in the beginning, and then on the back half went 10-1 or 11-1, and finished out the season very strong. They're going to continue to finish the season very strong, and might be a couple rough games against Echo Fox because Echo Fox has been looking strong, but strong games against Echo Fox, strong games against Cloud9, and then whoever wins the Team Liquid match, it's going to be a tough final as well, but TSM's going to take it.
Doesn't, playing devil's advocate, them having a rough start, you give them credit for them having a rough start and then getting better, instead of giving them discredit for starting slow.
As far as Zix being Coach of the Split, yeah.
I mean, think about it. How hard was it for Reaper to take a world's semi-finalist team and get them to 2nd place in NA?
Does that mean that coaches who do really well one split are inherently disadvantaged the next because their team looks so good?
No, I don't. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. I was trolling.
I was just going to say, I don't think it makes them inherently worse or better. Just that Zix, coming into this organization after Song, who, looked a little shaky on TSM last year, but before that, no one could have known that he was going to not perform as Zix has so far, and he's turned this team around. I really enjoy watching TSM play. I like watching the team atmosphere on the Legends, and big TSM fan. They're gonna take it all, and Zix gonna be Coach of the Split.
Okay, they're beating Cloud9.
They're beating Cloud9. It's gonna be a tough series, but of course they're gonna beat Cloud9.
Okay.
Before we get into them being Cloud9, I think it was interesting. Zazel in chat was saying that working with Nisqy is very difficult. This is interesting because this is a chance to give credit to Reaper that they are able to win in spite of you. Is that true?
Nisqy, I haven't cast my vote yet for Coach of the Split.
How bad are you?
Yeah, is it true? This is your chance to help Reaper. Is it really rough working with you?
No, what the hell? No.
Is it easy?
Not easy, but it's not hard.
Okay.
So you're saying Reaper doesn't deserve Coach of the Split because you're good?
I'm just saying. I think it's not even me in thing. I think coaching Licorice is the hardest in my opinion.
Again, this is a Cloud9 buckcast that I've noticed earlier. Zazel flings something at Nisqy, and Nisqy flings it to another person.
I'd give credit to Reaper for coaching Licorice for almost a year now, so yeah.
To be fair...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. Also, I think I don't know his name, but Flagquist coach, I think has been doing a good job because he doesn't have like any star or like even not like top tier players, and they've been doing pretty good in my opinion. So yeah.
I was gonna say Yeah, Invert's really cool. I like his story too. We're talking about the collegiate scene. He came through the collegiate scene up through academy and now coaching them. So I have a bit of a man crush for Invert.
What
But
about Cop?
Cop's there too.
Oh, what the
Cop
hell,
always has
poor
good
Cop?
results. What? She's not the head coach. You always give the credit to the head coach, but you're really talking about the whole staff, right?
Poor secondary coaches. I'll
Yeah,
vote
even
for
though we're
Cop
talking-
instead of Invert.
I'm saying, they have Reaper has Rapid Star, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Rapid Star help with the whole benching thing? Wasn't that part of his idea? He was saying like the team environment won't win,
I don't
and we
know.
gave
Boys,
all the credit
Can
to
I
Reaper.
just say what's going on with Zix?
We're getting back to Zix. We're taking a roundabout
Also,
path
okay,
to
so
Zix.
this is a really good question. Is it better to look at a Golden Guardians or a Flight Quest and say, wow, look at, or even I guess in Strive's case, like TSM, say, look at what this coach has accomplished with this lineup, or is it better to look at like a C9 and say, oh, this guy continues to just be really good at his job?
I think for me, it's hard, but I think it has to do with like expectations necessarily about like how people thought they're going to be and if they're better or worse, as well as I actually do think improvement is pretty important when judging a coach of the split. It's hard to say how much of that is directly because of the coach, but like that's the coach's job, is to make sure the team gets better over time. And so with a team like TSM, yeah, they didn't start super hot, but I think they have looked massively better over time, and that's like you're gonna put some of that towards the coach.
You can look at that roster, and Acadian did not have a great LCS career, and then he ends up on TSM, and suddenly he seems a lot
Grown a
better.
lot.
Is that Zix?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's partly Zix, but it's the same thing with C9, right? Like C9 was a little slow. People still thought they were the second best team, but they were like 2-2, I think, at the end of week 2, and they've gone on a pretty big win streak. So like you would give them more credit, both TSM and C9 coaching staffs, than Team Liquid's, which many people say is the most dominant team. They should finish number 1, and they did, but they did it with a losing streak at the end, and now
So
there's
if
a lot
I
of
am
uncertainty.
a coach that wants to win coach of the split, I should not put as much effort in the first 2 weeks. Let the team drop a couple games.
It's not a
And then
matter of
really
effort.
step
You're
it up and be
building
like, look.
synergy right there with the team as well. You're alongside the team building synergy with them as the coach as well. I mean, it's his first split there as well. And this
No, I'm just saying, like if improvement is part of it, it does feel as though there's an advantage to being a coach whose team sucks the first couple of weeks and then picks it up after.
I mean, if TL
I
was
see what you're saying.
Actually, Bebop 1988 says Enero took a 0-4 team to playoffs. It's never
That's
occurred
very true too.
in the history of LCS.
Absolutely.
I agree.
It's worth talking about. At the same time, with the TL point and finishing strong, it's not about like tanking early. It's not going 0-3 to end the split. Like if TL finished 17-1 or 18-2 with another random loss thrown in there, I think it's a lot closer of a debate as if Kane deserves it. But it's not that close because of how it ended.
I don't know if Travis has a vote. I know Mark, you probably have a vote, but as far as like recency bias goes, we always talk about recency bias when it comes into these coach of the split, player of the split, MVP, or whatever.
That's how Afro got MVP last split. Or last
Well,
year.
right. I'm just saying.
Winning the regular
That
season.
recency bias with
such
TL
recency
taking
bias.
those last 3 I mean, I'm just saying, like with TL losing those last 3 games, do you think it helps the Zix at all?
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
of that recency bias. Yeah.
But I don't consider that recency bias.
No.
It's like
Okay.
no, because your team is spending the entire split to improve and get better. If you tank at the end when you've had time to improve, that matters more than tanking at the beginning. And so like you can call that recency bias, but it's also, this is the most important part of the season. This is when your team should be doing the best. And
Right.
your team is struggling with draft and identity and play. Like, yeah, of course it looks worse to have that after playing for 8 months or 8 weeks and even before that, if you count the preseason versus a team that improves.
I mean, it does feel like Kane is pretty much out of contention for coach of the split, in my mind at least, which is ironic given that their team is finished first.
I mean, I don't want to say that either. I think they're all great coaches. I mean,
I think he is too. It's just like I'm not really thinking about.
Zix is like the who's it? Leonardo DiCaprio, like always misses the award or whatever. Like, just
Yeah.
I just think that this, if any year is going to be his year, it's going to be this year, and that's maybe a little bit of sentimental thinking. But yeah, I think Zix big time deserves it this year.
Mark, is
Sorry.
there?
I think it's.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think it's a tough year for coach of the split because it's kind of like this team finished number 1. There you go. I think it's a tough year because TSM rallied really hard. FlyQuest and Golden Guardians in a lot of ways exceeded expectations. C9 still super good. So yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna say like really quick because I know you're trying to move on, but like his drafts have been insanely good recently, and like just being able to switch between assassins on Broken Blade and Bjergsen, not really knowing which one is going to come out with the assassin, is such a strong point for TSM as well as Rise and other champions. But I'll leave it at that because I know we got to go.
Yeah, I think it's close. I think, like I was saying earlier in the show too, I think their draft's been really good. But so FC9s.
Hey, one last question though, Mark. Is Kane in contention in your mind for it?
No.
For the reasons you listed.
Mostly, yeah. I saw Jack was in chat saying like it's hard to keep the momentum that TL had from the beginning of the split, and like that's true. But it's kind of the burden that you get on your shoulders when you are the coach of the clear-cut number 1 favorite team that's supposed to have the most dominant roster, and like everyone is putting those expectations on you. Maybe that's not exactly fair, but that's the reality. Yeah, it's what it is.
Strive, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I was just going to say thank you, Mark. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Alienware. Nisqy, keep doing your thing. I don't know what it is. I just don't like Jensen for some reason. So you being on C9 makes me like them even more.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Peace.
All right. 2 more calls to go.
Oh, random thing that someone in chat mentioned. You see that tweet Doublelift had of someone,
Punching
one of the coaches punching a wall? Yeah.
Did we find out if that was real or not? He tweeted later, said just a joke, but I feel like that's what happens whenever somebody hits you up and is like, hey, you shouldn't have fucking tweeted that. You should delete that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way Doublelift tweets that if it
didn't happen.
Yeah.
I think 100% I think he would do that.
You think he would tweet just a joke if it wasn't actually someone punching a wall?
Yes, because Peter loves the social media engagement, and he knows that that would get it to him. I 100% could see him doing that. I could also 100% see him doing it without thinking that's a bad idea to tweet it. So that's why it's a 50-50 in my book.
Okay. Nisqy, do you ever think that your coaches need to show more enthusiasm and they need to like punch a wall to fire you up?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's like, they already punch the wall all the time. The drywall is crumbling to pieces in the training room.
Do you feel like are you the kind of guy who would respond well to like one of those pump up speeches from like sports movies, where it's like halftime, the coach just starts like screaming and yelling? Is that gonna?
Probably, yeah.
You would work? Okay.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
Get Reaper to practice his halftime speech then.
Safon and Twitch chat says the Riot Games logo with it edited in was amazing. I don't know if you guys saw that in the Twitter replies, but somebody took the picture of the punch drywall and stuck it in as the Riot Fist. That was really good. Really good. All right. Off to our next caller. Nisqy, what's your favorite restaurant in LA?
Didn't go to many, to be honest. I think Carving Board is one of them. And I love
that casual sandwich place is one of your favorite restaurants.
No, the ramen place next to it is insane too.
Really? You don't go to like Sawtell? You go to that place? I never see anyone in there.
Because I went to Sawtell, and then the broth of the soup is made with pork. And since I don't eat pork, I couldn't eat ramen there.
Like at all of them?
I mean, I went to like 2 of them, and 2 of them had it.
That's crazy.
I mean, chashu is very common, yeah.
Well, he was saying, whatever. Nox Paragon, where are you calling from? Nox Paragon. I see you lit up.
Good job, Mark.
Well, it was working a second ago. What the fuck?
Nox. Oh, wait. I hear a voice. Nox, is that you?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry, I don't know what happened, but welcome to the show. Where are you calling from?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Hey, do you have tickets?
I do not.
You don't have
I'll be out of
tickets
town.
to go to finals. What happened?
I'll be out of town then.
Oh, you're gonna be out of town. Okay. Well, I'm sure that's a bit of a bummer for you.
That's it. That's it. Me and a few buddies were kind of ticked, but then it was also only gonna be 1 day, so we were more okay with it.
Hmm.
But that's more Riot's fault.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, are you gonna be at town Friday before, like the day before?
yeah, we leave that night. So if there's anything happening during the day, it's actually like 10,
Oh.
15 minutes away from us.
There's a chance we might do Hotline League that night, but it would
Be
be
at
at
the
night.
airport.
I'm sorry. All right. Anyway, what do you want to talk about on the show tonight?
So Jack brought it up earlier, and I kind of looked way more into it because the last time I heard of the LEC new playoffs was just like an article that Riot posted. So I looked it up, and there's actually a video on it that explains it. And it's hype. Like, it is way better. It kind of combines what we have now with other leagues do with besides League,
Yeah.
where they have kind of the winners losers bracket, but from what it looks like, there is no like penalty. Like,
Are
in
you
Smash where start down.
pressing something against the microphone? Sorry, it sounds like there's like paper moving around or something.
It could just be the mic. It's kind of crappy.
Okay.
Is that better?
So sorry, a little bit better. You were saying you just prefer the LEC playoff format?
Yeah. So if people don't really know, and I'm gonna try my best to describe this, please correct me if I'm wrong, of course. But so they take teams 3 through 6, and they pair them off. Pretty much, team 3 gets to choose who they play. So let's say in this case, we'll just do how the video was, which was 3-5, and then teams 4 and 6 play.
Yeah.
We'll say our teams 3 and 6. So those two will play, and then teams 1 and 2 will play.
So
let's say team. Oh,
go ahead. So you're saying the first round, team 3 picks somebody, and team 1 picks somebody, or so team 1 plays team 2, and that's what happens.
yeah. So in our case, team 1. So the second day would be, or the second round would be versus C9 automatically.
TL versus C9, you're saying?
Happen automatically. And then let's say, because we're just going based off seeding,
Travis, I sent you
the.
You should just pull it up on screen. I sent you a link to their playoff bracket. It's pretty easy to understand.
Okay.
Just look at the thing.
Yeah, I'll put it up on screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, maybe I'll just put it on screen, and then Mark, if there's an easy way for you to explain it really quickly, because you might be more familiar with it.
It's pretty simple. It's basically the teams that get a bye for us, the 1 to 2 seeds that normally get buys, they play in a separate basically winners bracket, whereas the 3 through 6 team have a losers bracket. So that means if the quarterfinal teams lose, they're out, and then the winners of the quarterfinals play again, and then they play the winners from the 1 and 2, and then they play in a grand final.
Okay, so is the intent to make sure that the best 2 teams play in the grand finals?
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
And also too, so say your winner from bracket, and then the loser from team 1 and 2, those 2 teams play on Saturday, and then the very next day you get your actual finals, and they're all best of 5s.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, but this assumes that the first and second team are to finish in the rankings at the end of the split are not necessarily the best.
Correct. Which I think, honestly, like not so much this split, but I know in some previous splits where it up, but at the same time, so much more, especially with the double elimination.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up a little bit, but
in general, I think this is a little bit better because teams like, Echo Fox versus Clutch Gaming that happened in spring last year and 100 Thieves versus TL, it would have given Echo Fox a chance to play Clutch Gaming first and then potentially play 100 Thieves type thing. Yeah. Or no, they would still play TL because TL would be coming from the losers bracket in that one because TL didn't get a bye.
Correct.
The bye team was. So, I mean, it still has its problems if the top 2 teams don't finish in the top 2. But I still think it makes a better finals, which is what you're always looking for.
Yeah, and also too, like, are they really then the top teams? Like, if this is kind of like my bias, but are you really a top team if you don't finish 1 or 2 in playoffs? Like, regular season's cool and all, but does it really matter in the end? Like, everyone's gunning for the championship.
I mean, the other thing though,
Well, I
the
mean-
downside is it makes your. Sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's not really. I think the argument's weird because I don't feel like the current playoff system doesn't give you the best team and that wins, because the best team still needs to win 2 best-of-5s, usually against good teams. What this does is make sure that the second place team in the finals is actually the second.
It gives
place
you a
team.
better grand finals
Yeah.
theoretically.
It gives you better grand finals. That's all it does.
Plus, it's not like too, like, the second place team also does have like another shot to get in, so it's still, they're not just completely, if they end up losing to the first place team, maybe they realize, oh hey, we were playing like absolute crap, we tried a completely new style that, hey, let's go back to what we were doing and see if then we have a better shot.
Mark, isn't there a chance that this format makes the regular season even more meaningless?
No, it's the opposite. It makes it way more meaningful. Finishing first, second in a format like this is super important.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, if you finish first, you win 1 game, you're automatically in the, or 1 series, you're automatically in the finals.
I mean, that's true right now, but
that's
the
true right now though.
But
Yeah,
you get to
but-
lose a series as well.
Okay,
right now,
so
if
it gives
lose
you
the
a
series-
second chance.
right.
Exactly.
If you get first or second in the regular season, you get 1 extra loss,
Gotcha.
which is huge.
So it favors
like
the
you-
teams that it gives an advantage to the teams that get top 2.
Right, and if
Yeah.
a team's gonna make a rally through 3 through 6, they actually need to be really good and go on like
And because
a super hot
Cloud9
streak.
always makes it to like second, Jack really likes this idea.
Nisqy, what do you
I don't
think
know
on
why
it?
Jack likes this idea, but yeah, what do you think, Nisqy?
I think it's a better system than what we have in NA right now, for sure. I think it makes it more hype as well, because then you can have the, how do I say, like if the 6th place team starts winning everything, makes it insane, right? And not sure. And then finishing first and secondary, or like first or second, you can like, I won't say like try stuff in a best of 5, but like experience. For example, for us, it would be really great if we like can lose 1 best of 5 and then still go to the finals by winning the next best of 5, just so that I get like some experience, I guess. But yeah, it definitely does feel bad, because if we lose like in semis, then we're already out immediately. But like in EU, if you lose while being first or second place, you still have a chance, which is, in my opinion, the biggest.
So it
plus.
gives your Saturday, if you do a 2-day weekend playoffs, it gives your Saturday meaning.
Or you actually
Yeah.
have a Saturday.
Yes. Because if you have 2 days, then it's hype because whoever wins that on the Saturday gets to go to the
Oh, it gets okay.
Yeah,
Sunday.
the part that you worry about if you're talking about from an entertainment perspective is if you have a really dominant number 1 team. So 1 and 2 play each other early. 1 slams 2, 2 wins again, and then they play again in the finals where 1
And they
once
get-
again smashes 2. So that's the downside to a system like this, is if you have a clear cut number 1 team, it's very fucking boring. But
The
I mean, that's
one
also-
thing I couldn't find though is how, just me not fully understanding how LEC works, but I'm assuming championship points are the same. So
no, they have a
How-
different thing with how they
Okay.
qualify. That's what Jack was talking about in chat a little bit. He likes how there's not really a point system, I believe. So when you go into the summer season, it's just the top 3 teams that make it, I believe.
okay,
Oh, so
there's
you
no
don't have a
like
gauntlet.
carryover.
Yeah, they don't have a
That's the
gauntlet,
other
I'm
reason
pretty
Jack
sure.
likes this idea. I figured it out.
No, that would be why
Yeah.
Jack would hate it. They always want the gauntlet.
Well, I know, but he's so stressed. He has to buy the tickets
Well,
and everything too.
I'm not convinced I'm right necessarily about this.
Oh no, they said they do have. People in chat are saying they do have a gauntlet.
Right, they have a gauntlet. They don't have an auto qualify on points, I guess. That's what they got away
Okay.
with.
So it's kind of like what 100 Thieves did last year, where even
Right,
though
so Summer Champion still advances, but then everyone else is seeded and has to play to get in, I think.
Yeah.
That's honestly the better way, because did anyone really like 100 Thieves going last year?
Yeah, I'm not. We should not speculate too much on this because I'm not sure I know what the fuck I'm talking about for their Worlds
You
qualification.
heard it here, guys. There's no gauntlet. Mark Zimmerman, the EU playoffs expert, knows everything there is to know about LEC.
I love LEC.
Yeah.
Though on this, it's more kind of a question for you
Well,
two.
I'm down for this.
Yeah. Why do you think though the LEC is trying this new? NA has kind of been stuck with. Besides the gauntlet, you kind of have the same old, same old.
Because LEC, are you asking why LEC is doing this?
Like they're trying something new, and I feel like it's been a while since like NA has tried really something
Yeah,
new.
it's because LCS is stagnant and they're afraid to try new things, and it drives me up a fucking wall. And LEC is actually doing really innovative shit this year.
LEC is nice.
So Travis hates NA. I get it.
I don't hate NA. I hate the lack of innovation that I've seen from the LCS for a while. And that's my frustration. And I see stuff like this coming out of LEC, and I see a lot of the stuff that they're doing, and I just get really excited about it. Whereas I feel like LCS figured out a formula a couple years ago, and they're just like they just put everything into the formula and spit it out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also LEC. I remember having we had a meeting last year, I think it was in EU, and then they were like asking opinions and stuff. And 1 year later, they actually changed everything the way we wanted. So, which is really good, I think, from Riot.
Yeah.
Is that like Riot's doing, or was that kind of voters?
Yeah, that was Riot.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I drew up this playoff bracket some time ago as well. And I think there are some Europeans in the room, so I think this is my bracket.
Okay, I got you.
Oh, yeah.
You came up with this. You came up with this. I thought there was a rumor I heard a while back. I don't know who told me it, that Jat had also like come up with some cool idea, and then
there was like a week, or I shouldn't say week. It was like a couple weeks in a row where Jat and I were both just spitballing. How do we improve playoffs? And especially we did something like this for the gauntlet because we didn't want the auto seed. So I think this was actually our gauntlet, not our playoff thing that we came up with. So the first and second in points took up the 1 and the 2 spot.
Everybody's spamming hashtag call Jack. Jack has already said he wants to be able to type, not call. And the show's almost done. But in the future, I'd love to have. I have been trying to arrange, true story, like a 2 to 3 owner panel to have on the show, because I think that would be really fun if it was like Mark and me and like Jack and Steve and one of the other maybe newer owners. I think that would be really fun. So hopefully we can do that in the future.
Oh, newer.
Sorry, what's that, Nox?
You were trying to think of another owner, so I said Reggie.
Well,
just get the old guard in there.
Well, that's the idea. Is I try to mix it up by having like Seb or Hunter or somebody from one of the newer organizations on there, or Nadeshot. I don't know. Either way, Nox, any final thoughts?
No, thanks for having me. Nisqy, good luck next week.
Thank you.
All right. One last call to close out the show. Getting them on in a second. Jack, great questions, caller. He's hosting via text right now. Trying to make sure there's nobody I need to give a shout out to. Abdul from Art Class, thank you for the 6 months in a row. The Jumbles, thank you for the 6 months. And Kylo Zen, thank you for the 7. We got our last caller of the show, Labuda Mike, who's been on the show before, I believe, right?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Remind me where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Illinois.
Okay, these last 2 calls. Sorry, they paused really quickly. Whereabouts in Illinois?
Near the ISU area, so like a couple hours away from Chicago.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, what do you want to talk about on the show tonight?
Actually, for Nisqy, and it was about playing in NA versus EU, and specifically like the mid lane talent differences, and like has it been like easier or harder, and like have you had to like adapt to anything specific?
I'd say playing in NA is definitely easier than in EU, because NA mid
Just more
laners
competition.
Yeah, I mean NA mid laners play way more safer and do not really take risks compared to EU ones. And I mean also it's not really, what do I say? It's kind of different as well, because my team right now is like so much better than what I had in EU back then. But yeah, definitely in NA it's mostly around team, like team fighting, and then not really smashing lane like EU does. But yeah, I mean I think playing in NA is more safe, I guess, because everyone plays the style except, for example, I think Jensen and Björk are the only two that actually play aggro and like abuse mistakes you make and stuff. But every other mid is kinda, you can take whatever matchup you want. You're gonna go even, and then you're just gonna team fight.
I was just really hoping to hear you flame NA, to be honest.
I mean, he
I
kind
mean, I
of did.
consider that. Yeah, is he not?
No, he did. But I mean, because realistically, behind, if you look at our top 3 mids, they're all EU. That's and Crown's pretty good
He
too.
did. Nisqy
Well, I
put
mean,
Po
if-
Belter up there.
Right, and yeah, of course, Paul Belter. But like, all of our good players come from, not here pretty much. And then mid lane specifically, there's the EU mid.
EU mids. EU mids, man. I don't know. They're
Well,
too good.
We also don't have any NA mids other than Po Belter in the LCS. We had
Demonte.
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 Hey,
Now he's gone, replaced by Piglet.
yeah, so I'm saying they were like, wait, what are we doing? This isn't Po Belter, and then they put in midlet.
Gotcha. Worked out really well for them. So you called in and you just wanted to hear Nisqy trash talk North America.
I mean, like realistically too, and then also I wanted to get both of you guys' opinion too. Like, I know you guys are obviously NA guys, but like realistically, do you guys like just this year specifically? Like, if you look at G2, Fnatic, Vitality, like if you just look at like all the raw talent of their do you think NA can realistically match up against them at Rift Rivals?
So I know that people are gonna take this the wrong way, but whenever TL was smashing, I was like, okay, we've got our own G2. Like, look, we've got all these veterans and all this talent and all this stuff. It's gonna be sick. Now I'm like, I don't know, because it doesn't feel like we have that same story.
It's
Marky, look
hard
like you
for
have
me
a
to.
migraine.
Well, maybe I do. What's wrong with that? I think, maybe I'm too optimistic. So I think the bottom half of NA sucks, and maybe they start figuring it out towards the end of the split. But I thought the top teams looked pretty good, so I'm somewhat optimistic for MSI as an NA fan. I mean, like G2 actually lost more games than Team Liquid did, despite Team Liquid going on a slump, ending 14-4. G2 ended 13-5. So
Right. But they're also playing
better teams.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I also think if you watch how G2 lost some games, they were doing some super boosted shit and like hard trolling. So it's hard to say how much of that was like them being overconfident, whereas TL feels more like a real slump. But I don't know. I think I don't think it's significantly worse than other splits.
Also, I gotta say that last year when I was in EU won Rift Travels, and now I'm in NA. So,
Wait, were you in NA when NA won Rift Rivals?
Yes.
Oh shit! It just follows Nisqy.
Okay, so then we're good.
Yeah.
All right, so if we lose, it's all your fault.
No. The hell, if we lose, it's not my fault.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
is.
reason.
You're supposed to bring it. That's why we brought you.
Yeah.
Oh. Fine.
Yeah, we brought you back from Europe to win Rift Rivals.
Just to win a title? Yeah.
All right, Nisqy. It's all on you. No pressure.
Sure, guys. No pressure.
Labuda, Mike, any final thoughts as we say goodbye?
That's all I wanted. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Serious question for Nisqy. Now that you've been in NA and Europe and NA again, which region do you enjoy more?
Well, what's the wait?
Answer the question,
What's the
Nisqy.
Wait, what's the reason? Not the reason, but like, what's like enjoying mean? Like enjoying playing the game, or
Yeah,
Where are
the
you-
whole experience, not
Yeah,
just
where-
like it's a more competitive
You
league.
could
but,
only
like,
play
LA
in
has
one
better food.
region for the rest of your career, and you don't make the decision based off of like money or whatever. It's like, where would you be?
I think if I'm in a org like C9 or like a top org, NA for sure. But if I'm in the lower tiers, probably EU, in my opinion.
You'd
What's nicer
rather
about being on
lose
a
in
bad EU
EU
team?
than lose in
I mean-
North America.
I mean, back when I was, for example, in Envy, and the difference right now, like when I'm in C9, it's like
Yeah,
like
but
another
that was
world. You know?
pre-franchise.
I mean, I didn't play in
We
the EU
kicked out
franchising
Envy
yet.
from the league.
so-
You know,
I mean, I didn't play in the EU franchising, so
I think what he's
it's
saying
not
is
that
that
great.
if he's gonna be losing, he'd rather lose closer to home.
Yeah,
He has more outlets.
nah, definitely. I mean, to be honest, I think NA. I like the weather more. Like,
everybody.
Just
See,
the
Mark doesn't
lifestyle,
want
yeah.
to talk about the weather on the show. Weather's the number one reason why we get imports into our region. I feel like
yeah, I mean, it's been raining a lot. I
Berlin
think at Berlin,
sucks.
so. Yeah,
Our restaurants are better too, I imagine.
That's
You
true.
don't-
Yeah, that's true.
Don't have carving board in Berlin.
Yeah, there's a good restaurant in Berlin though. that I
There's
like as
a
well.
good restaurant. Well, I'm glad they've got one. I'll take it. All right, wrapping up the show. Mark, what do you got for us? What do you want to promote? What do you want to put out there?
I already did it at the beginning, so I don't really have anything to say.
Well, just come up with other stuff.
I'll be on The Dive, a great podcast.
Jesus. You fucking betrayed
Wednesday.
us. We made fun of that show so much, and now you're like a permanent co-host.
But think about it. I get to pimp out the other one every time.
Do you pimp out Hotline League on the dive?
Yeah, I mentioned the Hotline League last time I was on there. I'm going to do it again. I'm sure something I talk about with Nisqy will come up on The Dive. So I'll be like, oh, on this other great show, Hotline League.
Will you
I
say it
talked
like
to
that?
Nisqy. Probably not.
Bullshit. Bring back Jet. All right. Anything else, Mark?
Nope.
Oh, we didn't talk about your power rankings.
Oh, unlucky.
Well, what? How did you do?
I don't remember. I need to pull it up.
I don't think you put 100 Thieves in last.
No, so I know 100 Thieves and FlyQuest are are pretty wrong, but I think those are the only two I got super wrong. Where is this thumbnail, dude? You
By the
put
way,
up so many fucking videos.
Yeah, I put out over 500 a year. And then people flame me whenever one of them is bad.
Well, try not to be so bad then.
Yeah.
All right. I need to pull up the actual standings now because I don't remember. Shit, this is so annoying. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? Do you want to cut Nisqy so he doesn't have to sit here and wait for
Nisqy.
this?
What do you got going for us? What do you want to promote? What do you want to shout out there?
Oh man, I don't know what to say. I love Puma.
What?
This is I Love Puma, their sponsor.
Oh shit.
I actually love Puma right now.
Yeah? Oh. We're dropping frames. Hello? Hi. F. You love Puma. Okay, what about your social media? Do you stream?
Oh, I don't stream much, but one thing is, go follow me on Instagram. Man, I don't have many people on Instagram for some reason.
I'll follow you on Instagram right now.
I have a lot of people on Twitter, but not on Instagram.
Yeah, it's hard to get people to follow you on Instagram. My Instagram
It
is like
is.
tiny in comparison.
You gotta
Gotta make
post
some-
feet pics.
Yeah.
Nah,
That's the secret.
What is your Instagram?
I linked it in the chat already.
Nisqy LOL. Well, there's
Yeah.
people that listen to an audio version of this. Okay, I'll follow you.
Oh yeah.
Will you follow me
Hey,
back?
just
Nice.
people
you just,
on.
all you do is you post the pictures that Riot takes of you.
Usually, okay, no flame to LCS, but when I was in LSE, I had so many good pictures I could choose from. And now, when I'm in LCS and I look at the pictures, I'm like, there's only like one good picture of me, so I'm kind of forced. But
Like all 7 of your most recent pictures are pictures of you that LCS has taken.
yeah, but they're like when I was back in EU, I could choose between like 5 or 6 pictures, and now in LCS, like I have only 1 or 2 pictures that are actually looking good. I'm not sure why, but maybe I'm just worse now.
You're not as important.
Maybe.
Your main picture still is you in a Splice jersey.
That's true, actually. I gotta change that before I get flamed to shit. Yeah.
Hey, Jack, look at Nisqy's Instagram. I'm looking at some of these brands that are on the Splice jersey. I don't think they're
brands,
Are these the brands that sponsor you right now?
There's no branding. There's no brand.
No, there's stuff on your sleeve. Scuff. Looks like Scuff. Oh, I didn't know Scuff was giving C9 money. That's interesting.
All right, I'm never coming back here again.
It's been a pleasure.
All right. Mark, did you find it?
I did, but I'm lazy. Can I do this another time?
If you don't do it now, we'll never do it. Just super short.
All right, I'd say I did okay. I got TL first, C9 second. I had TSM fourth, but they got third. So I'd say anything that's one off is still pretty good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So I have 1, 2 correct. I was 1 off from third. I had Golden Guardians at 5th, which is what they finished. I had CLG at 6th, but they finished 7th. I had Optic at 8th. They finished tied for 7th/8. I had Clutch Gaming 10th, and they got 9th. So what I got
Where'd
really
you have
wrong.
FlyQuest?
So that's what I was going to say. The things I got wrong was I had FlyQuest at 7th, and they finished 4th. They tied 4th. So that was pretty wrong. I had 100 Thieves at 3rd, but so did fucking everybody. Had them in top 4. So I don't like whatever. Yeah, I got that one wrong. And then the other thing was Echo Fox. I actually had Echo Fox 9th and 6th.
You did better
So-
than Jack.
So I would say I had 3 things pretty wrong, and I had the rest
Jack had
right.
Clutch getting second. So
Yeah, Jack did that one hard. It's because we got smashed in scrims. It just put the second.
Gotcha. All right. That is a show. For me, please go watch my Playmaker series. The YouTube algorithm is just destroying it, but I think it's actually really good content. And I think you all will enjoy it. It's on my YouTube channel. I also have a vlog up there from Austin. I'm going to try to stay streaming for a little bit after this, so please stick around. If you're watching this show, just know that there's also an audio version of it, which you can find on all the major podcast platforms. And shout out to Alienware. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But I think that's it.
Nope, probably not.
Be sure. Okay, Mark. Be sure to tune in next week for episode 69 of Hotline League. There might be some surprises.
What?
I don't know. I don't have anything. I need to get these people to
Okay.
tune in. All right. Thanks,
Super
everyone.
cool guest. Bye.
Hotline League episode 69.
Peace.